want to talk to Chris in Scotland. Give me a minute here. Chris, welcome to the show. Hello, Chris.
Hello, can you hear me?
There you are. Yes.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Nice to hear from you. You want to know how to deal with street preachers, is that correct?
Yeah, I often enjoy debating with them, but sometimes, even when they're saying the most vile stuff, they are so set in their beliefs and sincere in their beliefs, it can be difficult to dissuade them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's people who shout abuse at them, knock over their signs, but yeah, and I understand that, but it's not really getting to the heart of the issue. And I'm just wondering, other than debating them, is there a right way to deal with street preachers?
Yeah, this is a really good question. Weirdly, I haven't encountered very many in Texas, but when I was living in Portland, I dealt with street preachers all of the time. They were all over the place. And it is really difficult to reason with somebody who decides that they are going to buy a megaphone and a sandwich board and make a fool of themselves in public, right? You have to have a certain level of just like stubbornness and surety in your beliefs to get there. So what I would say is beat them at their own game. So you are not ever going to honestly convince a street preacher that they are wrong about something. If that happens, it's an Anthony Magnabosco video and it's a one-off. That is not how that works. What they are doing is they are making themselves a spectacle for other people and grabbing attention from others. If people go up and knock their sign over or push them around or, yell abuse at them, what that's doing is that is affirming to the people around them, I'm the victim, I'm in the right, feel sorry for me, that other person who disagrees with me is the asshole. What you can do, if you want to, it's fun, is make them into the asshole or laugh at them. So it's not about the street preacher anymore. The second they go out on that street, they are not interested in actually having conversations. It's a performance. And so what you get to do now is decide, do I want to be part of this performance? And how am I going to perform in a way that positions not even me as the good guy, but definitely throws a little bit of shade at them? So one way is just to yell jokes, right? They say something that just literally, I've seen people just stand behind them and say, in bed, or make your mama jokes or something. And it makes people laugh. You're not the asshole anymore. You're not being abusive. You're just making it funny. And that will cause them to stop a lot faster than anything else.
Wow, that's a really good idea. So as it's not something I've really thought of. I've had very long debates with street preachers, and I know a fair bit about the theology, or the mythology rather. But I have not been successful in convincing a single one that they're wrong. You're quite right. But that's a good idea, to try and make them look foolish. That's quite a good idea, because often some of the stuff they're saying is horrible. There's children passing and the street preachers talking about driving nails into Jesus' wrist with every lie you tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that honestly, some people have, oh man, it's so funny. Some people just dress up like Jesus and stand next to them and just hold a sign that says, I actually don't say that. Or it's so much fun to mess with them. There was this one time I was watching the street preacher, and he was engaging with an atheist and a Muslim at the same time, and being really aggressive and stupid and pig-headed. And I wasn't an atheist at the time. I was just a very progressive Christian. So I disagreed with him, but I wasn't an atheist yet. So I go up, and there's a pretty big crowd of people around this stoop that they're on. And I said, I'm a Christian. And the Christian was so happy to see me. Like, you could see his face light up. And I was like, I am a Christian and I believe in God. And this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And his face just fell. And he was so mad at me. And I looked at the Muslim and the atheist and I said, I believe in a heaven, and I believe that I'm going to see you there, and I believe I'm going to see you there. And then I looked at the Christian and I said, jury's out on you. And I walked away. There was some applause. That was a pretty good day for me. And he started yelling at me as I was leaving, how I was going to hell, how I was a terrible person. He didn't know me, but that let him drop his mask in front of everyone. And nobody after that, I guarantee, could probably take him as seriously, because somebody who was also a Christian just told him that he was wrong, and then he completely dropped the facade. So there are ways to do it that are actually quite fun if that's what you're into.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea, because they are trying to create this aura of authority in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good idea, and some of the people that were there, they did actually knock over his signs or whatever, and I don't necessarily know that's the best way to go about it, but he was shouting, "You'll regret that in hell, young man."
Oh my
Stuff
gosh.
like that,
Exactly.
He was properly coming across as,
Yeah. As long as you can ruin the charade, exactly what you said. They want that authority. They want to be perceived as somebody who knows what they're talking about and who is trustworthy. And if either of those things can get poked at, then they need to get up and leave, because that particular audience just saw through their mask. So if that's something you want to do, highly recommend it. It's really fun. I do it whenever I can, but also be careful. Just, make sure that they're not going to, go beat you up or something. Because I would not want that to happen to you, Chris. But yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for calling in and letting us end on a kind of a fun note.
Thank you, and I hope you have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.